With school about to be back in session, the boys and I had to leave the summer off on a strong note. So, what's a stronger note than a road trip where we witness supernatural lights, explore abandoned mines, check out an asbestos-filled factory, and more. 3 friends would join me that you've never met before. These are not my online friends, and these guys have never been in a video of mine yet. But just to add to that confusion, they told me it would be funnier if I didn't give any of them an introduction, so I guess we'll get right into the video then, which begins with us picking up our 4th friend. Alright, let's dox Raflik right now. Say his full address right now.
772.
After driving for a while, and a bit of tomfoolery later, we had reached our first stop.
Please open up.
Oh god.
Welcome, loser. We're recording a video. With our 4th friend acquired, we set out on our journey. Our first stop was the Paulding Light in Michigan. The Paulding Light is a mysterious phenomenon that has been a major tourist attraction for over 50 years. It's basically a light that appears almost every night in these woods. The light is said to vary in size, color, and distance from the spot you observe it at. Obviously, we need to see it for ourselves, so, like moths to a mysterious flame, we traveled to the town of Paulding in search of these lights. There are many theories behind the light, like spirits, swamp gas, aliens, military experiments, car headlights, and more. And that's cool and all, you're free to believe whatever you want, but we easily saw past that propaganda and talked about what these lights could actually be.
Wait, what if it's just a midget down there with a flashlight? Like that gets paid down there.
Night.
He is paid down there to do that every night.
50s.
Why would it need to be a
generational thing? It's one of those family occupations.
It's a family, but why it has to be a midget?
Yeah, why would it be a midget? Why can't it be a dude with a
Why does that
flashlight?
bother you so much, Steve?
Yeah, why is it what? Why is
Do
that?
people not have jobs?
Yeah.
Correct. You don't want to take all the the whimsy out of the.
Yeah.
It could be a no.
It could be. You just put the little funny pointed hat on.
No with a flashlight.
We're all smart people. I've come up with a new invention, alright? So you guys are gonna tell me if this is a good idea.
That's a good idea.
No. You need to hear me out. Alright, so you know the clap lights. Those old clap lights that they have in
I
houses?
don't like this where this is going. It's a bad idea.
Now what if we use them on stoves and grills? Alright, say you're in the other room and you want your stove on. Alright, you can just clap, you go, and your stove comes on. Or say your grill out on your porch.
So, run me through an example of when I would want and or need that service.
I got you. When you're in bed in the morning and you're like, I gotta make breakfast.
That T-bone steak has been unthawing all night on the counter. And I really need to get the stove on. So, I mean, I don't see many problems besides maybe outside noise like in nature. So
Like a bird flies into the window and then all of a sudden your stomach turns
and then
on.
you start smelling gas. Your house turns into a bomb.
Oh yeah. So one clap, gas turns on. Second clap, then lights.
You have effectively turned the house into a fucking bomb. You're not even home. A squirrel scurries by like your grill outside and like clanks like a piece of metal together. And it blows up the grill and burns your house down.
So like it doesn't ignite the flame, it just turns the gas on.
No, yeah.
Second clap ignites the flame.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
we can
Of course, because I have to let the gas run a bit before I can turn on my stove.
Yeah.
I could be an innovator. An innovator. Like Steve Jobs.
Just like him. Just like.
By now, it had gotten dark. The roads have become spooky, and the conversations extra silly.
It was kind of interesting because the AI in the car got tricked because the person that they hit, it was a lady walking her bike. So the car didn't know if it was a person walking or a person on a bike.
So they just decided to run it over.
I assume the code just goes, must be a glitch, there's nothing there, go. Go as fast as possible.
Or it was like a shark. It's like a shark where it can't figure out what it is, so it takes a test bite and then it leaves it. I like that idea better, where just the Tesla is like, just run someone over trying to figure out what it is.
If I hit it.
It was around 10 p.m. and we finally arrived down the road to the Paulding Light. People were already parked there watching, so we did our best not to interrupt. Please excuse how black the screen is. GoPros don't have great night vision capabilities, and I assure you that we were seeing slightly more stuff than this with our actual eyeballs, like the treetops and crap. But to give you an idea of what we were seeing, here's a picture of the road we were at, but it's daylight. And I'll just do this. Yeah, like that, give or take a bit. So we waited around, and eventually, we saw it. Okay, I'm not sure what you were expecting to see, and neither were we. But nonetheless, we were all intrigued to say the least. Now, my friends and I weren't really scared of this light, and that's mostly because we were all pretty confident that we could take a dumb glowy orb in a fight if the Paulding Light decided to start throwing down. But yeah, it's a light. In the woods. We stuck around and saw it a bit more, but it's about as exciting as some of you might have guessed. It never did anything cool per se, like a backflip or perform calculus, so I'm gonna have to dock some points for that. So after staring at this light long enough and having thoroughly pissed and pooped our pants, we decided to head out and find our next destination, a campground to sleep at for the night. At 11 p.m.
Check the car. Yeah, check the car for goatmen. Quickly.
Any gnomes? Any gnomes?
Any
They're
cryptids?
all in bed.
Honestly, this part of the trip was scarier than the Paulding Light. We were forced to go down these gravel backroads in search of a campsite that we may or may not get murdered at, and all we had was the illumination of our headlights to guide us, and a GPS. You know those horror reading videos or scary dashcam videos at night where some creature darts across the headlights or retreats into the woods before you can get a clear visual of it, and then all the people in the car see it briefly and everyone starts freaking out going, you know. Well, that's kind of what it felt like. But real. Hey, whoa, 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 whoa! We tried a couple places and didn't have any luck. I mean, this one place advertised as a campground was literally a boat landing. Invasive species. It's a boat landing.
Yeah,
this is a boat landing.
Oh, it's a boat.
This is a boat landing.
Alright, I think it was the other one then.
Yeah, I don't know where they expected us to camp. We eventually chose a campsite off the beaten path, and it brought us down the longest, scariest, most bumpy back road we have ever seen. I can't believe it's 12:30 at night. We're driving down like back roads trying to look for campgrounds. What is this? Why did you turn down this?
What told me to go?
What?
It looks marginally better than the last.
Okay,
We go 1.6 miles down this road.
It's 1.6 miles of curvy, windy road.
Did it tell us to take this bougie back road just to like get to another like paved road?
That'd be funny. Just get back on the road we were on.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just that'd be fun. I don't know.
Thought you wanted to have a little bit of fun, you know?
Yeah.
Just a little quirky little side road trip.
The scenic route, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, should I have turned off that setting?
Yeah.
Avoid highways. Avoid paved roads.
Yeah.
I'm serious. This was easily 10 times more scary than the Paulding Light. We didn't know what waited for us down these roads, and the unknown can make your mind go wild.
Dude, what if we wake up in the morning and there's no road?
This is where people like in like Colombia, where people surround your vehicle and they like make it come to a stop and then they fucking drag you into the woods to get like
Steal your organs?
yeah. Like this is literally that. We are about to be abducted by like forest cultists.
Also known as gnomes.
Also, yeah,
known as gnomes.
the gnomes.
After what felt like forever, we made it to the campsite, and when we stepped out of the car, we saw this. Some messed up crucifixion cross. Look at this thing! There was no doubt in my mind that we would be dragged out of our tent in the middle of the night by a bunch of cultists and burned on it. It was the only explanation. That, or it was for hanging food because of bears. Which could also drag us out of our tent in the night and burn us on the cross. Soon, we had made a campfire and set up the tent. Hey, fire safety, if Smokey Bear taught me anything, Riley, all right, yeah. Fire safety is a #1 priority. I'd rather not be driving down these back roads looking like the ending to Far Cry 5. It was roughly 1 in the morning, so we decided the best course of action would be to get drunk and eat pudgy pies. Woo!
You just you finish that bottle into that.
This is full today, dude.
This was, it's empty.
We had some pizza pudgy pies and apple filling pudgy pies, and a pro tip for pudgy pie making is to rotate them, which I forgot. It was good. 9 out of 10 pudgy pie. We basically stayed up until 3 p.m. screwing around and talking before we finally went to bed. It was now morning, and we had a couple more destinations to knock off the list. And this was the final day.
We survived. The sun has risen.
We headed farther north and checked out a waterfall. It was pretty cool. A 9 out of 10 waterfall. You could go up top and check it from above too, so that was pretty neat. It would have been pretty easy to roleplay as a heartbroken damsel in distress and just, launch yourself over the side of the waterfall, or frame a murder as an accident. Who knows? Say they slipped and fell and just happened to go over the waterfall. I'm not the boss of you or anything. Next up was the mines. This was easily the part I was most hyped for on this journey. I've always wanted to go exploring caves, or splunking, or trespassing, or whatever you might call it. The semantics aren't really the thing that matters. But the thing that does matter is that we explored 2 mines in total. The first one was very large and open, and cavern-like in feeling. There were also a ton of large holes that led outside, which in turn let the sunlight in.
Where are the miners at?
What kind? Going head first in this professional YouTube thing.
Now, I need to apologize for the shaky camera skills and bad lighting. This was one of my first couple times recording a video with a GoPro, and if I could do over one thing about this, it would be definitely to bring a much brighter light for the camera. These mines were originally copper mines, and whatever copper was left in the mines had long turned green with oxidization. So, sorry crackheads, but you'll have to look somewhere else for copper scrap.
Wait, you guys hear that?
So, the thing about these mines is that they're rumored to have ice in the bottom year-round. Don't ask me how it works, I just know that it was August 5th, and there is still ice in the bottom of this cave. While it was cool to mess around in this cave, it left some things to be desired, like crawling on your butt, navigating tunnels, and the pitch-black darkness of being underground. Fortunately, cave number 2 would provide all that and more.
Next cave, boys.
We started by going in a smaller hole than the first.
This is not handicap accessible.
We kept heading down, and eventually, after about 100 feet of scrambling down an incline, we reached the bottom where it flattened out and it was much easier to walk around on.
Alright, you see this quartz right here? Some people take it for granite.
I'll be here all night. Please, actually, we're trapped in this cave. We don't know how to get out.
To the left of us was a well-carved and easy-to-walk down tunnel. We obviously had to see what kind of secrets awaited at the end of it, so we walked down it.
Say we're above bedrock.
That's prime diamond lines, baby!
Whoa, look at this. This someone was strip mining. Strip mining for diamonds.
This is sick. Yeah.
Take your guesses on what we found. Was it gold, more twisting tunnels, mole people, secret government documents, an ancient burial ground, Saddam Hussein? It was nothing. There was a room, and it just kind of ended. But look how spooky that entrance is! That's prime material to put a spooky monster there. Hey, whoa, that's too spooky. We headed back out and figured that was the end of the mines. But when we got out of the tunnel, we realized these mines kept going, but in the other direction. More tunnels and a larger open room led us to a couple of different routes. We decided to explore this large room a little better as it had a couple of different side tunnels we could try out. We continued to the end of one area and found a short tunnel that branched off it. Take a guess what we found at the end of it. Homeless people? A mysterious obelisk? Unused sticks of dynamite? Well, you're all wrong, because it was Roundup. That's right, the ominous Roundup at the end of the tunnel. Why was it down here? What was it being used for? There's no weeds underground. Who lugged it all the way to the end of these mines, and what were their intentions with it and my daughter? Anyways, we decided to backtrack and explore one more area. A mysterious long tunnel that is surprisingly high off the ground in a wall.
Why is that one so small? Do they have child labor mine workers in there?
Wait, there's an up.
Yeah, it's over there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that way too.
They have the hill dwarfs.
Where did it lead? Why was it so long? What is at the end of it? Will I ever find true love and... What to do? We neglected to bring our swimsuits for this trip, so I guess we could head back the way we came and not see what might be around the corner. Or we could... Okay, and Stevie's just walking into the water barefoot. Bless that brave soul.
3, 4 dudes chilling in a cave. Oh my god, it's a creature! The creature's coming back! Oh my god!
Stevie, turn on your red light.
Yeah, turn on your red light. Turn on your red light. Oh my god!
Do
with the 4 LEDs, it looks like Monster Eyes.
It does.
Like a cartoon.
Stevie, it would be a shame if you stepped on like a nail from like those 2x4s in woods that are.
I literally stepped on nails as you said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Stevie made it around 2 extra corners, and he told us the tunnels just kept going and getting deeper at a slow incline, which means the water kept getting deeper, and the water was freezing cold. But I guess we'll never know what's at the end of the tunnel. So, comments! Leave your best guesses below about what might have been at the end of this tunnel.
It was 12 a.m. on a Saturday. We started going to the cave. For those of you who don't know, a cave is like an opening in the ground where they get shit out of.
Eventually, after enough cave dwelling, we decided to head back to the surface where we would continue to the final destination of our trip. Our final destination consisted of a couple things: an old abandoned dredge, a couple of chimney stacks, and an old abandoned stamp mill now turned into an asbestos funhouse. We checked out the dredge first. It's all rusty and leaning in the water from years of no upkeep, so we stood on the shore and admired it in all of its leaning, graffitied glory, looking a lot like a high school kid's notebook full of doodles and hot takes. Initially, we wanted to climb on the thing and explore it like an oversized tetanus jungle gym, but we decided not to, partially because we didn't feel like getting lockjaw, and partially because it was a historically preserved site, making it illegal to climb on. So instead we admired its pizzazz from afar. Next up was some chimney stacks. None of us are sure what they were using them for, but they had a bunch of charcoal at the bottom of them. Not to mention the dope graffiti around this place. I'm telling you, whoever says graffiti is just tasteless vandalism hasn't seen graffiti like this.
Is that Freddy Fazbear?
The chimneys were cool and all, but there really wasn't much there to check out. So we went back and walked to our final destination. Asbestos Land! Yay! I mean, the old stamp factory.
We love asbestos.
We weren't wearing any masks, but we made sure not to kick stuff up or around. The first area wasn't too remarkable. It was pretty big and pretty empty, with a bunch of old stairs going up to another floor. We decided to go around back and check out another area. This was above the ground floor, and none of us are exactly sure which areas were used for what when they made stamps here. All we know was that it was a stamp factory. And the other thing we did know?
What's in there?
It says right on.
It's on the label. The label's right on the can.
Were we getting lied to? I had to find out, and, you know, take one for the team.
Hello? Free sex? No?
They lied. We had one more area of the stamp factory to check out, and it was up a hill. We assumed it was probably the pumping/cooling station where they took the water from this river? We didn't know. But what we did know was that there was bopping graffiti in this building. Here's a ton of the graffiti we saw now. Some of it was really funny, and some of it was really cool. But viewing all this graffiti means that our trip was soon going to come to an end, as this was the last designated stop of our trip.
Quality.
This trip was awesome! I had so much fun hanging out with my friends, and I definitely want to do another trip like this. I hope everyone else had as much fun as I did, because these memories are going to last a lifetime, partially because the whole thing is going on the internet, where it will stay forever. We ended this summer off with a bang, and future compensation for mesothelioma, so it's a win-win. Thank you all so much for watching, and a big thanks to my awesome friends for making this video possible. It wouldn't have been anywhere close to as fun without them, and I hope we can do another trip like this.
Oh my god, in loving memory of Henry the Flying Ant. I don't know what happened to him. They don't fill us in on that lore. There's a whole lore. There's whole lore behind Henry the Flying Ant, and we haven't even known about it.